G'day folks, today I'm going to be reviewing the game Super Racko. This game came out in 1983 from Milton Bradley, and it is for 2 to 4 players. Now I'm sure many of you are familiar with the game of Racko. That's the game where you're trying to get all of your cards in numerical order on your rack, and you're swapping out cards and things of that nature. With this particular game, you're going to have 2 columns of cards. You're going to have a red side and a blue side that you're going to have to do that with, but you also have action cards in this game as well. So let's show you Super Racko. Okay folks, let's go ahead and get right to it. We will go ahead and start with the rack that you're going to be receiving. This rack has 2 columns in it, and it has 8 different rows. You've got a blue column here and then a red column over here. And what you're going to be trying to do is you're going to be trying to get each of these columns in numerical order. You're going to try to get the blue cards in numerical order and then the red cards in numerical order as well. Now your cards are going to look like this. You've got 2 different colors. You've got the red cards and then you have the blue cards, and they're numbered 1 through 40. Now at the very beginning you're going to deal out 16 cards to each player, and whenever you get them you're going to place them in a zigzag formation like so until you get down to the last card. Now you have a couple of cards in here to talk about. We got the wild card, and there's a red one as well, and you can basically use this as any number that you want. It just has to be a whole number. You have the swap card. If you end up discarding this card, you can force your opponent to switch 2 of his cards between 2 of his columns. And then you have the reverse card, and if someone plays a swap card on you, you can play the reverse card, and then it's going to go back to the person that ended up playing the swap card on you, and he's going to have to go ahead and swap out the columns. Now if he happens to have a reverse card, it's just going to simply go back to you and go back and forth until somebody runs out of reverse cards, and then that's the person that's going to have to do the swap. And whenever you do the swap, you're going to just simply call out a row for your opponent to swap the cards out. For example, if you say 5, he'll have to swap out this card and switch them. Okay, so all the cards have been dealt, and whoever gets to go first is going to have a choice between either drawing from here or drawing from the discard pile. And again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the cards in numerical order from lowest to highest on the blue side and on the red side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw this card here, and then I'm going to go ahead and pick a card to discard. In this case, I'll pick this one, and then I'll go ahead and place my 33 right over here. And then it goes to my opponent, and my opponent will go ahead and make the same choice. Let's say he discards this blue 38. Now, if I want to, I can pick that up, but in this case, I choose not to, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up this one, and this is a red 1, which is a good one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play this swap card and discard it, and now my opponent is going to have to go ahead and do a swap. So I would just simply say, okay, I want you to swap out the cards in row number 3, and unless he has the reverse card, he's going to have to go ahead and do that. And in that case, all I would have to do is just simply take out the reverse card like this and play it, and then I would go ahead and refill the rack back up to get my 16 cards back. So let's say it's my turn again. I decided to draw, and I've got a red 21. I'm going to go ahead and let's say I go ahead and swap it out for this one. So right now you can see that I've got 3 cards or 4 cards in numerical order. I've got the 1, the 6, the 21, and the 32, and I'm trying to get this entire row like that, and the same for the blue side. And basically the game is going to continue going on like this until somebody has got their blue side and their red side complete with all of their cards in numerical order from lowest to highest. And that, folks, is Super Racko. So my final thoughts on Super Racko. Well, this is a game that is not very common. I think it goes for about $20-something on eBay. I ended up getting this game on Facebook Marketplace. I got a group of games with it. And if you like Racko, I think you're definitely going to like Super Racko. It's definitely more challenging, especially when you're having to contend with those swap and reverse cards. Now, there is actually a strategy that you can employ. If you happen to have like a red and a blue card that are on opposite sides of each other, and you want to get them swapped out, if you play a swap card on your opponent, he might actually play a reverse card on you, and if you happen to call out the row number that you want to switch out yourself, you could go ahead and switch out those cards and do that as a strategy. You can kind of like a bluff. Of course, you know, you have the reverse cards that you can use to try to fight off your opponent as well. Now, the rules don't say if this isn't an option or not. I know, like, when we were getting to the end of the game, we were dumping out swap cards, but I didn't necessarily want to play a swap card because I was so close to getting finished, and I didn't want to risk my wife playing a reverse on me, because then I might have to end up swapping, and that would make it harder for me to finish the game. So that's just something you probably would have to house rule. But yeah, it's a solid Racko game, guys. If you can find it for cheap, I would definitely recommend picking it up, especially if you like Racko. But Racko is a classic game, and the Super version is a cool version too. It's just a little bit more uncommon. So guys, that's my review of Super Racko. We'll see you later. Keep on gaming.